Hi, everyone. Meteorologist Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Now streaming studio. Hope everyone is having a nice Tuesday morning. Been dealing with some way cooler than average temperatures over the past couple days. Again, kind of got to pinch yourself to remind yourself that it is actually Nebraska in mid-August, and we are not in fact living in the Pacific Northwest with how cloudy and how cooler than normal it has been. Unfortunately, today is kind of the last day of that. We will return to our regularly scheduled August as we head through the remainder of the week and into the upcoming weekend. But again, if you're just joining us, again, live right now on our 1011 Now streaming platforms, on 1011now.com, as well as on our, again, streaming apps, Apple TV, Fire TV, Roku, Samsung TV, as well as on our YouTube channel right now. So, again, daily forecast update every day right around 9 o'clock. So, jumping into, again, kind of the forecast and the numbers as we head through the day on your Tuesday and the remainder of the week. First, actually, I guess, looking back, yesterday, high temperatures, again, well below average. Again, normal high temperatures this time of year, again, generally in the mid-upper 80s still across most of the state. And yesterday, we had temperatures ranging from the low 70s to the low 80s across the state. In Lincoln, topping out at 79 degrees. The warmest temperature was Chadron. They had got up to 89. So there was a few spots that were near normal. But again, most of the state was well below average. And in fact, again, if you look at the last several days worth of high temperatures in Lincoln, we have now strung together 5 consecutive days with highs in the 70s, which, again, I was talking with meteorologist Brad Anderson this morning, and I said, when was the last time we had 5 consecutive days with highs in the 70s? And this is actually the first time this year that we've even done this. So we'd had 2 days, we'd had 3 days, we'd had 4 days in a row. We've never had 5 days in a row, at least this year. And again, with the forecast today, we should likely be in the upper 70s. So if we do it today, that'd make 6 days in a row, which again, something we have not done in 2024. Again, you can see the very hot start to the month, but again, generally since then, it's been pretty comfortable, again, especially for early to mid-August. And like I mentioned, though, we'll have one more cooler day today, though, but we will see those seasonal temperatures return as we head through the middle and end of this week and into the upcoming weekend. We'll also continue to watch out for scattered rain chances. Likely our best chances are going to come today and tomorrow. And then overall, I think we're going to trend towards a drier pattern, but we still will at least be dealing with some low-end chances for some spotty showers and maybe some isolated thunderstorms as we head through the course of the next week. So right now in Lincoln, again, one of the things we are dealing with this early this morning, again, as many kids are off back to school, is some areas of poor visibility, some areas of fog, again, more low clouds, kind of like we've seen over the past several days. Right now in the capital city, it's upper 60s for a temperature, 67 here in Midtown Lincoln. Visibility is checking in at 5 miles right now. But again, you look at visibility across the state. Some spots it's not terrible, but again, there are some spots, especially in the southwestern parts of the state, where visibility is down to around a mile or less. So again, if you are out early this morning, again, if you are getting the kids back to school and you do run into some of those spots that do have some reduced visibility, just take it slow, give yourself a little bit of extra time. But again, this should clear up as we head through the morning and into this afternoon. Temperatures as we start our Tuesday, generally sitting in the middle and upper 60s, a few spots in the far west into the lower 70s. Dew point temperatures, again, a little bit higher, low to mid 60s again, so we can start to feel a little bit more of that humidity out there. Again, if you look at the dew point trend over the course of the past several days, again, extremely comfortable dew points. It was yesterday that we kind of started to at least feel it just a little bit more. And then we'll feel it today, but then I think as we head today into Wednesday, Thursday, we're going to be back into that kind of muggy to humid to even very humid range. We will feel it. So again, kind of returning to that regularly scheduled August conditions as we head over the next several days. Winds out there generally out of the east or southeast. They are fairly light at around 5 to 15 miles an hour. Really not much of an issue for us as we head through the day today. Satellite radar picture has had some showers, isolated thunderstorms early this morning across the state. Right now, most of that activity is kind of drifting off to our south and to our southeast across parts of northern and northeastern Kansas. Most of the state right now is dry, but again, we are dealing with some of the areas of fog, maybe some patchy drizzle mixed in there as well. I think, again, we had this chance for rain this morning. I think then we'll see another chance for rain tonight. into the overnight hours, and then again as we head Wednesday night into the day on Thursday. So if we zoom out and look at a regional view, again, we do have this kind of cluster of storms kind of pushing through southeast Kansas into southwest Missouri. Otherwise, things are fairly quiet across the middle parts of the country. You zoom out and look at a national view, again, for the most part, things are fairly quiet, again, especially after what had been a busy stretch of weather, especially for the East Coast with Hurricane Debbie just dumping a tremendous amount of rain along the eastern seaboard. Right now, though, things pretty quiet. So we check out Skycast as we head again through the morning hours into this afternoon. We'll get rid of some of that low cloud cover, some of that fog. I think by the afternoon we're looking at mostly to partly sunny skies across the state. Generally dry conditions out there as well. And again, temperatures still just a little bit cooler than normal, I think, as we head through the day today. But as we head towards tonight, we're going to start to see again another disturbance kind of move off the high plains in the west. So we'll start to see thunderstorms being possible across eastern Wyoming, eastern Colorado, eventually into western Nebraska. That activity then tries to spread eastward and again could impact parts of central and eastern Nebraska as we start the day on our Wednesday, so that'll be something we want to watch out for. We could see maybe a few storms, maybe an isolated strong to severe storm as we start our Wednesday, and then as we head into Wednesday afternoon, I'll see a little bit of a break, but again, it will be warmer, it will be more humid, and then as we head towards Wednesday night into Thursday, that next round of thunderstorms is going to be possible across central and eastern sections of the state, particularly into southeastern Nebraska. Again, we could see more scattered, potentially more widespread, the potential for some severe thunderstorms with that round Wednesday night into Thursday. Large hail, damaging winds, and heavy rain would be the primary threats with those thunderstorms. And then as we head into Thursday, that's when we start to see things dry up at least a little bit. But again, with the upper level pattern, we can't rule out maybe a spotty shower, maybe an isolated thunderstorm into Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening, but most areas likely stay dry. So that's severe weather outlook for the day today. Again, we do have a marginal risk across South Carolina. We also have one across kind of the Intermountain West, stretching from Montana across Wyoming, parts of Idaho, Utah, into Colorado, and then into much of the 10-11 coverage area, kind of across north central and northeastern Nebraska is where we don't have that marginal risk, but again, can't rule out an isolated strong to severe storm in these areas. For the day tomorrow, though, we have that marginal and slight risk that cover the entire state, again with that slight risk across east central and southeastern sections of the state. So again, isolated to scattered severe thunderstorms going to be possible. Large hail, damaging winds, and torrential rain would be your primary threats for the day on Wednesday. And again, that timing-wise is likely going to be Wednesday evening into Wednesday night into the overnight hours is when we'd see the best chance for some of those thunderstorms. Into the day Thursday, that severe weather threat generally shifts off to the east. We see that slight risk extending from the Chicago area down towards St. Louis and into southeastern parts of Missouri. As far as, again, precipitation potential, again, when we looked at this map last week, the eastern seaboard was painted in oranges and reds. They are expecting widespread heavy precipitation with Hurricane Debbie. Not the case this week. In fact, again, if you're looking at this national view, you can see much of the southern plains, much of Texas. Again, really not expecting much of anything as we head over the course of the next 7 days. Across the Midwest, heaviest moisture is expected across eastern Iowa, into parts of Wisconsin and Illinois as we head over the next 7 days. For much of the 10-11 coverage area, we could see anywhere from maybe 1/4 of an inch to 3/4 of an inch of moisture as we head over the course of the next 7 days. As far as temperatures are concerned, highs today, again, like I said, today is kind of the last day of those widespread below average temperatures. We'll see highs today generally in the 70s to right around 80 degrees, still into the 80s to near 90 as you head across the Panhandle. Low temperatures tonight, mid to upper 60s to near 70 degrees. Highs tomorrow start to warm back up. Widespread mid to upper 80s for most of the states. Some 90s can be ruled out for a few spots in Lincoln. We're going to say 88 for the day on your Wednesday, and then Wednesday night into Thursday we'll see those lows anywhere from the mid and upper 50s in the west to the mid and upper 60s in the far east, and then on Thursday again we see those temperatures well into the 80s, which is pretty seasonal for mid-August and for this time of year. You look at a nationwide view, highs today, again the heat remains bottled up across the south and southeast, although see temperatures well into the 90s and triple digits for a few spots. Highs 110 or so in Phoenix today, and you can see the cooler weather in the northeast. as well as in the Pacific Northwest. High of 68 today in Seattle. For the day on Wednesday, again, we start to see that warmth begin to kind of creep northward. Again, those highs back into the 80s across Nebraska, across eastern Kansas. It's going to be 90s, maybe even near triple digits. Again, still cool across the northern plains and into the Great Lakes, as well as the northeast and the northwest. On Thursday, again, nothing really changes. A little bit cooler again across the Great Lakes region, but still 80s, 90s, and triple digits across the middle and southern sections of the country. And then into the day on Friday, again, more of the same, with, again, 80s, 90s, and triple digits across a good portion of the middle part of the country. 7-day forecast for Lincoln looks like this. Again, you can see today, upper 70s. That 30% chance for showers and thunderstorms will likely peak tonight into the early part of the overnight period. Then Wednesday, we're back into the upper 80s. Again, that 40% chance is likely highest as we had Wednesday night into the overnight hours. And then basically mid to upper 80s from there on out through the weekend into early next week, with just a low-end 20% chance for an isolated shower or thunderstorm in the forecast as we head over the course of the next week. 10-day forecast for select cities across the state. Again, you can see the pattern is basically the same for just about everyone. Today is the last kind of cooler day, and then we're back to more normal August temperatures as we head through the second half of this week, into the weekend, and then through most of the work week next week. So again, the highs that we've been having over the past several days into the 70s, more typical of what we would likely see late September into even October. So again, it was really nice to have it around, but unfortunately, again, August and Mother Nature still has some heat and humidity in store for us. So again, we'll see a return to those conditions over the next several days. So appreciate everyone for tuning in, watching along with us live. Again, try and do this every morning right around 9 o'clock, again, so you get that daily forecast update from our streaming platforms. So again, thanks as always for tuning in and watching. Again, keep it tuned to 1011, both on air and online, not only for all of your latest forecast updates, but for all of your latest news and sports as well.